for being here this morning, for waking up so early to be part of the Creative Mornings Bangkok. So this is sixth edition. This is sixth time that we are running Creative Mornings. So we run this event every month. The theme for this month, as you all know, is ethics. A very difficult word to pronounce for a Frenchman, but ethics. And so in these 140 cities all over the world, so they will have identified some speakers that will speak about ethics in their own way, in their own creative way, based on their own experience. And all these presentations are also video recorded, and you can watch them later on the internet. You go to creativemornings.com, and you will be able to watch all of this. So, before we get started, let me just thank our sponsors. First of all, our yummy partner, Au Bon Pain, and Mudman. So I think we can give them a round of applause. They always try to come up with some creative also breakfast. As you can see every day, today everything is kind of black. There is a black somehow sign behind it. Maybe our presenter will tell you a little bit why later on. Thank you also to Index Creative Village, who has been one of our supporters and with taking pictures and also all of these things. Thank you, of course, to Bangkok Universities who's hosting us, and also particularly all the audiovisual department who's doing a great job also recording all of this. Thank you, guys. Thank you also to all the volunteers from Creative Mornings. I often forget to thank them, but this will not be possible also if all these volunteers, lots of them from the IKI team are here today. So thank you guys for all your help and support. And my last thank will go to our international sponsors. Again, that's something that makes Creative Morning happening worldwide. So there are 3 of them. There is Shutterstock, MailChimp, and FreshBooks, again, which help support Creative Mornings all over the world. So that's a non-for-profit event. If some of you are interested to volunteer and help us, you're welcome to join. There is, again, no money involved. Everything is done on a voluntary basis, and so we really appreciate all your efforts and all your help. And again, if any of you wants to help or support in any ways, we will be happy to have you among the team. Now, today's theme, so ethics. So that's a very, very interesting topic. I got a chance to meet MARISA a couple of months ago, and so by talking, she shared with me some of the things she was doing and some of the ideas that she had, sorry. And so we say, yes, she is the one that we for sure should invite to talk about ethics. So she will talk ethics from her own perspective, which is, to me, very, very interesting. And I'm sure you will really enjoy her talk. So I will just pass the micro to her. And so she will present for 20-30 minutes. And then later on, we will open to questions. OK? So please, MARISA, thank you so much. Kapun Krap, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Can I see hands? How many of you are here because of Claudia? Come on, come on. Come on, because I don't think ethics would be a topic that draws so many people here. Good morning. My name is MARISA. I have 3 challenges for standing here today. Number 1, I'm not a morning person. So this is really early for me to talk. Therefore, please forgive me if I'm not making any sense. And we can discuss later when you have questions. Secondly, I am an introvert. So talking to strangers is a big challenge for me. So you might hear that my sound is trembling a little bit, so I'm nervous. So if you can sort of help warm me up a little bit and make Thank you. So for an introvert, a lot of things go inside the head. I talk to myself a lot, and I'm very critical about things. When I see things, I have, comments and opinions. And ethics is one thing that is always in my head when I see things and when I see actions, when I see behaviors. And today I'm trying to reach out and share what I have in my head to other people because it matters to the world, to how the world is going to be shaped. Third challenges, I'm a brand consultant. I do branding. I've spent 20 years doing marketing, and know it or not, marketing is one of the key culprits in conducting unethical activities. Yeah, so that's another challenge. I'm talking, from a marketing perspective about ethics, and that could be quite a challenge as well. Okay, so so why am I here talking about ethics? Like I said, branding and marketing contributes a lot to how our society is shaped. Through our activities, through what we do, through the brand positioning we put on, we shape what's good and what's bad in people's perspective. We tell people what's supposed to be in terms of the look, what's supposed to be counted as successful in terms of materials. We tell people you need to be rich, you have to have a lot of materials to matter to other people. Yeah. So doing branding, doing marketing truly contributes to how our society is shaped. We also tell people what their dreams should be, and hence we create struggles for people to achieve that dreams. We tell them they need to have fair skin, but they're born with darker skin. So they struggle. They try all they can to whiten their skin so that they can be fairer, and then therefore they will be admired and liked by other people. So as a marketeer, ethics is a topic, it's a tool, a great tool to remind us of the things we do, to ensure that we are aware of what we are doing and we are truly create a meaning for the society and being aware of what we are saying and what we are talking. Yeah? And that's why I'm here to talk. Oftentimes, if you look, ethics is a road less traveled. And why is that? Because ethics is a hard road to take. Why bother going through all the rules and regulations, doing all the correct things, when you can just pay money and get things done instantly? Why bother trying to justify the reasons for an action or trying to tell people and build your self-worth so that people take you for who you are, when it's so much easier to just create an illusion, superficially communicating something so that people will like you. So ethics is a slow process. When you take an ethical road, it's a very slow process. It takes time to yield a result. And oftentimes, we can't wait that long. Being a marketeer, you have targets to meet. Especially if you work in a large corporations, you have target to meet. You need to grow market shares right away. So typically, you adopt a road where it's easy. It gives you instant result. And that usually engage in saying sort of borderline things to consumers. I've been in marketing for 20 years, and I'm one of the marketeers who make claims, oftentimes irresponsible claims. So I was ambitious. I want to win, and I want to win the competitors, not actually winning consumers' heart. So I benchmark my brand with competitors' brand and try to think of what would be a superior claims I can make, so that it will make my brand looks better, looks more superior than the competitor's brand. So I say things like, you have to have fairer skin so that, your husband will not leave you. You have to drink this orange juice, which actually consists of, pure sugar, to be healthy, and is healthier than carbonated drink. I say things that long, straight, black hair will take you further. You will be successful if you have, nice, beautiful, when you turn your head around and it shines. I say things, for example, you need to have exclusive privilege, exclusive access to a certain area. You have to have lots of money in order to really tell people of what your self-worth is. Yeah? So I've made all that claims. And a lot of marketeers do that. Like you need to have as white underarm as your face that you can show it to the world. And I don't understand why white underarms will, take you further, but that's somehow the new benchmark today, that you can go around and show people how white your underarm is, then you'll be pretty. But we've come this far, and that's because we want to be better than the others. When in fact, as a marketing, what you should focus is how can you answer your consumer needs the best. It's not about being better than the competitors, but it's about truly understand what the consumer's tensions are and what would be the best solutions for them. The best and the genuine and the sustainable solutions for the consumers. It has gone as far as, just win by simply having fair skin. If you have fair skin, you will always win. This case has become quite a controversial, and it's actually a good news because it means, when this brand flashed this campaign up, a lot of consumers complained. They rallied. They really said this is a wrong message to say, and that's really a good news from the new generation. Is it fair to put down one person on superficial measure? The other girl has darker skin. Just to say that, just to give advantage to a fairer skinned person. Just to say that if you're fair, you have an opportunity, you have a better opportunity, you have a chance to win. Is it fair to communicate such measure, such benchmark in the market just because you want to sell your product? What's wrong being black? And I have to thank Obong Pan today because they, all the donuts are all black. And it tastes great. I mean, chocolates is fine. So instead of saying what the real value of a person is, what should be admired in a person, we communicate that it's about superficial things like having fair skin. And that is really a wrong value to instill. 20 years after, I've done that. That too, advertising wasn't done by me. But 20 years ago, I've done that too. But after all these years, it reflects in what the society values nowadays. I see my effort, my attempt at selling my products impacting the social values in the wrong way. I'd like to show you a campaign that demonstrate what marketing, what branding does to consumers, what kind of implication they make to people.
I'm a forensic artist, worked for the San Jose Police Department from 1995 to 2011.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw.
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm going to ask you some questions about a person you met earlier, and I'm going to ask you some general questions about their face.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her chin, it was a nice, thin chin.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
So here we are. This is the sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
So yeah, that's...
She looks closed off and fatter, sadder too. The second one looks more open, friendly, and happy.
I should be more grateful of my natural beauty. It impacts the choices and the friends that we make, the jobs we apply for, how we treat our children. It impacts everything. It couldn't be more critical to your happiness.
Do you think you're more beautiful than you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
We spend a lot of time as women analyzing and trying to fix the things that aren't quite right. And we should spend more time appreciating the things that we do like.
As you can see, we try to sell beauty products by emphasizing and building insecurities in consumers. You know, we make certain benchmark. We said pretty face mean big eyes, you know, nice nose, small mouth, tiny chin, big boobs, thin body, whatever. And that create a benchmark. And people compare themselves to that benchmark. And they build insecurities in themselves. Is it the right way? Is it the right road to take? Just because you want to make a few more dollars in your profit and loss statement, and injecting this unhappiness to people. You know, we are all humans and we want to be happy. And wouldn't it be a nicer way if we adopt a road where we instill happiness to people and make them adopt our brands or our products instead of hammering and building insecurities in them? And it's not just about, you know, branding or marketing. Everything people does, movies, you know, I watched James Bond the other day, and I look at this, you know, handsome Daniel Craig, James Bond. I'm like, yeah, he's handsome. But the images and his action in the movie really create certain values for guys in our society. You know, to be handsome and be admired, first of all, you need to have buff body. And you need to wear crisp suits. Even though you're running, you know, sweating like hell, you still look perfect. You need to drive sports car, you know, have expensive watches. And when it comes to choice, you know, there's a scene where his girlfriend in the movie said, I cannot go with you to do this job. I can't get myself into, you know, being in this, you know, CIA type of work anymore. And James Bond's decision is, yes, okay, then he dropped the girl and he pursued his career. That's also a value you're instilling to the society. You know, so all these things are creating what people forms, what's good and what's bad. So I am here to just, I'm not telling you to be all ethical all of a sudden. I'm not totally ethical in everything I do, but I think the key thing is having that awareness that things you say and things you do create an impact, big or small, it does. Today, when I listen to focus group, you know, as a marketing person, you attend focus group, you listen to consumers, and these are the comics that depict consumer values. You know, it's sort of a sarcastic comics drawer, and he draws things to just criticize the society. You know, what he says here is, "Yak mi pua." In English, is like, I want a husband. And the other one is saying, like, I'm working to pay off for my bag. And that's what I hear in focus group. It's not just, you know, a comic. real consumers, girls, they are 13, 14. And they said, we asked, what are your ambitions? What do you want to achieve in life? Oh, I want to earn a lot of money. Why? So I can buy bags, expensive bags. Why? So I get good husband and I don't have to work anymore. And I hear that from kids, they're 13 years old. They're supposed to dream big. They're supposed to want to, achieve beautiful things in life. But no, they want beautiful bags. Yeah? So things we say and things we do does have an impact on it. And I sort of ironically, I thought, the real people, we place all this emphasis on superficial things. You need to look pretty. You need to look handsome to be successful. When you think of it, the real people who make great contributions to the world, who really make a difference to the world, like people who majorly turn the world around, are not that great looking. Their values really doesn't come from how they, I can't say Einstein is handsome. I mean, unless somebody disagree with me. But, hi? He has fair skin, true. He does. So I don't know why we put so much emphasis on the wrong value when there is so much evidence that prove real success people who make real contributions, who've been admired over 100 years, whose fame stays forever, are not really measured by how they look, but what they do and what they contribute to the world. So I'm here today to share with you just a tiny insights of what difference can we make. And the reason I come with this idea is because I got inspired by this book called Conscious Marketing. And I encourage you, if you buy into what I'm saying today, this book is really good. Her name is Caroline Tate. She's also a marketeer for 20 years and reached a point where her realization came that what am I doing and what am I selling? What am I doing to the world? What am I doing to the people? And she came up with a different perspective and insights toward what we should do as a marketeer. Yeah? Normally, when we do marketing, we focus on the what, like what my product would be, what should I claim, how can I be better, what should I say, and is it different from the competitors? What is the unique selling point? How can I be more unique than the other people so consumers will pick me? When in fact, if you really want to have a sustainable result in the market, the question you should ask is the why. Another person who shared this perspective, his name is Simon Sinek. He said, you connect better with people when you tell them your why, not your what. When you tell them the reasons for you to exist. Why are you doing this? For example, Apple, Steve Jobs, people admired him a lot. Had Steve Jobs embarked on the journey and talk about how great his computer is, it's a new color, it's a new design, it's sleek. As a consumer, you probably would think, yeah, another computer. But Steve Jobs didn't take on that approach. What he did was he communicated his why. Why is he inventing Apple? Why does he want to transform how people communicate to each other? Why he thinks computer doesn't have to be difficult. It can be really easy, it can be simple. Computer can be for everybody. Yeah? So he comes in another angle and he talks about the why, and that's how he connects with people. I don't know if you've ever seen, but this is the first communication that Apple did when they relaunched themselves.
here's to the crazy ones. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
So he tells people the reason Apple exists is because he wants to inspire people to think different and do different. You know, he tells people the why of his business, and that connects people to his brand. I'm not saying that we all should become a charity. After all, our job is to sell products. Our job is to make revenues, to do business, to make profit. But what I'm saying is that there are several roads we can take to generate profits to the business. And an inspiring road would be a road where profit comes with a purpose. Yeah? When you have a purpose, it's when you connect your talents, your passions, and your strength to make greater good, you know, to contribute better to the society, and leave the world a better place because you existed. It has a benefit to everybody, to all stakeholders. The most importantly, I think it instills pride in yourself. So at the end of your career, at the end of your journey, you can tell everybody that you instill great value to the society. You inspire people. You make people feel good. Not you make girls want to buy bags because she wants a husband. You know. So I'm not saying that we need to sacrifice business result to instill great value, but it's about marrying the two and try to communicate and instill good value in everything you do. Another example to illustrate that, you all know insurance industry, and you've worked in insurance industry. Typically, at least in Thailand, I don't know in other markets, the way you sell insurance is you said, you need to buy insurance because once you're retired, your life is finished. You know, you don't have income anymore. So you need to build this security, have money, buy the insurance so that you have a backup plan. On the other side of the coins, you're just telling people that they become worthless after 60 years old. You know, you just have no value anymore. This insurance company choose another approach to talk to people so that they buy insurance and build security in life.
If something is your passion, it never dies. That dream is always in front of you.
I am about to embark on one of the greatest adventures of my life.
An entire generation is redefining retirement from a time to do nothing to a time to do what you love. To help people realize this cultural shift, you could just make commercials saying that, or you could give retirees the chance to prove it themselves. This is Chapter 2, a campaign about retirees, made by retirees. It began with Carol Lewis, a retired postal worker, directing her first film at age 61, following a mother of 3 as she considers what her future retirement might hold.
My dream would be playing with a symphony again. That would make retirement pretty good.
The end credits reveal that the film was not only directed by a retiree, but also produced by a retired business executive, with music composed by a retired IT director. And this was just the start. For the red carpet event at the Cannes International Film Festival, we teamed up a retiree with renowned designers Marquesa to create a dress for Naomi Watts. When asked, "Who are you wearing?" she'll be able to answer, Francesca Zara, retired real estate agent. Even our billboards were created by artists like Mike Tisha, a retired bank examiner, and our online banners were created by Robert Pillsbury, retired architect turned cut paper artist. The Chapter 2 site is filled with many more stories to discover, from a retired business owner inventing a new way to teach children how to write, to a newspaperman becoming a boxing trainer, and New York City's first female firefighter becoming a printmaker. And then there's me, David Setkowski, a retired police officer who did the voiceover for a series of Chapter 2 radio commercials and this very film. The first ever campaign made by retirees shows us all that retirement is not a time to sit back and do nothing, but a second chance to do the one thing you've always dreamed of doing.
Retirement is the great chance for you to live and do the things that you didn't get to do. There is so much more life to live.
You know, it's commercial. They want to sell insurance. But the way they talk to consumers, it's more inspiring than telling them that their life is finished after they retired. They said there's Chapter 2 and they can re-enjoy their life again and do great things, do what they love and they didn't have a chance to do before. If you're not a marketeer, or maybe after you've listened to me, you said, I'm not going to do marketing, it's evil job. On a personal level, in our daily choice, we also have an impact on shaping the marketeers, actually. Just for example, drinking coffee, there's so many consideration points for you to ask the why and think deeper of the impact you're making. Do you go with a paper cup for convenience, or do you go with a recycled cup? Just to save the world and preserve the world more. Do you choose imported beans, coffee beans, for exotic taste? You drink beans from Brazil, it's always nice. Or do you support the local and buy from Thai beans producer and save the world from, just a tiny bit from global warming effect? It's all these small choices, small decision points. Of course, sometimes we do want some exotic taste, just to light up our life is fine. But I think having that awareness at least make your decision more thoughtful, more meaningful. I don't think people are evil. I think when they make unethical choices or they choose wrong, it's really more from ignorance, from not knowing the impact they are making to other people. In driving, traffic jam in Bangkok, sometimes you need to cut the queues. You're in a hurry, you'll be late. But if you only know a little bit that by blocking one lane of the traffic, you're really creating a long queues of traffic behind you. And know it or not, there might be someone being really sick in the car and they need to reach the hospital as soon as possible. But because you're in a hurry and you block the traffic, he or she might not make it to the hospital. So it's, having this awareness and really thinking of the implication you're making and choose a harder road to take. So for example, leave home earlier so you don't have to cut the queue. And I'm saying this and my friend would laugh because I'm one of the people who was always late. Another last example I want to share to prove that I don't believe that people are evil. But I think when they make choices, it comes from ignorance that they create the negative impact. So I think if people know, they will make the right choice. If they have the right information, they will choose right. So as a consumers, you know, as we consume things every day, we used to listen, you know, we hear advertisement, we see the products, we see 2 pounds t-shirt, that's nice, and we act, we buy. Instead of doing that, inject one more step to it. Learn, ask why, ask what's behind it. Ask yourself what is the impact you're creating, and act after you have asked yourself the why and satisfy yourself with the why. As a provider, like if you are a marketeer, I think it's your job to instill the right content, to give consumers the right message, so they make the right decision and buy your product. It's about creating a community where people connect to each other through the right knowledge and the right values, and help each other shape the world to where we want to be. So I am here to encourage you. Even though you're not adopting a marketeer profession, consumers are really influential to marketing. So if consumers make the right choice, pick the right thing, questions what marketeers are doing, be a conscious consumer, I believe that you too can shape how marketing do things and how the world will end up be in the future. It will be the world that you want it to be. So please be a conscious marketer, a conscious consumer. Yeah, a marketer if you want to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kun Marisa. So we have a little bit of time for questions now.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kun Marisa, for your excellent presentation.
Thank you.
I find this very interesting, and I think you have shared with us your experience and your insight and your thoughts on this. And putting this into perspective, you know, some of the examples you have shown very clearly illustrating how marketing as a profession is driving our society probably in the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. Now, you conclude by encouraging us as consumers to be more conscious and to act in such a way that it will somehow influence the marketeers to maybe stay more in line with what should be the way to take. My question is, seeing all this and your thought, which I admire tremendously, how can you put this into the heads of the marketeers? Because that's where the root of the problem lies. Yes. You know? And whatever impact you can do over there can probably have a far more reaching consequence than telling us, you know, small group here, you know, I don't know, maybe you will be doing this for the next 30 years, 50 years, but how many people can you influence? You know, so maybe another route to consider is putting this into the heads of the marketeers. So do you have any plan? What's your ambition of achieving that? It would be a very big contribution that you can make to our society. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much for the encouragement. And as I said, I'm a brand consultant. So today what I do is I go around to my customers and tell them what they should do with their brand. And I somehow instill my personal value, whether that is ethical or not is question mark. But I try to inspire them to adopt a road where they contribute great values to the society. So I would advise them on a brand positioning that has great value, great image, great mission in it. Some do take it, some doesn't. I face challenges. Sometimes I want to quit. I'm like, okay, forget it. This is not gonna happen. Or like some industry are very, very difficult to penetrate and convince them to instill good values. But then I tell myself, if I quit, if I forget, I don't want to engage with it anymore, then I'm losing the chance to really make a difference in make a small difference in my own way, and encourage business to instill a better value and to adopt an ethical approach towards marketing. So that's one thing I try to do. Another thing is, this is the first time I speak, and I don't know if I will get a chance to speak more, and if I do, whether I will take it, because it's really nerve-wracking. But if there's another chance, I probably will continue to talk, and I hope slowly I get people to adopt the same thinking, and it ripples out to other people. I like to talk to the new generation marketeers, because the future is in their hands, and they are the one who's going to shape the world in the future, and I'd like us all to help each other and build a beautiful world in the future.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hello. Thank you for your talk as well, and very critical thoughts as well. I've got a question sort of for the new generation of marketing like you, who's going down this route of installing some very strong values like this. So the examples you gave of Simon with his golden circle, using Apple as an example, he gave Apple as an example as well. They installed some very powerful values in all of us, and ensured that they become #1 brand, one of the most valuable companies in the world. Half this room probably has an iPhone. Probably 80% of them had to ask their parents to buy the iPhone. It is like the new handbag of today. Why do we need the new iPhone? Can we phone better than with the iPhone 1? No, but we can take better selfies, which we can upload, so we can have a better image. So are we back in this loop, just with more powerful marketing tools, or has something really changed?
Very good question, and it's also a question I ask myself. I think, business is business, so Apple has shareholders that they need to be responsible for. People invest in their company, so it's also a responsibility for a company to deliver profit to the shareholders. Apple might as well use a more evil approach to sell their products, instill the wrong values, and are still making money. Or they choose another road which is more inspiring and generating good values. So it's borderline, very gray line. But I think when that comes into your perspective and you need to make a choice to balance out your responsibility towards different stakeholders, what I encourage you is create the minimum impact possible that you can, the negative impact possible as you can make, and adopt a road whereby you offset your evilness with something positive. You take something, but you also give back something. Yeah. So at least you are not purely harming the society. You're also generating something good, something beautiful for the community as well. So I agree with you. A 30,000 baht phone, is that the right thing to do or not? What Apple could do more, I guess, is instill logical thinking to the new generation, and say things like, if you cannot afford it, don't yet, or don't source money from the wrong act in order to buy an iPhone. iPhone's supposed to help you communicate better, connect with the world better, be more inspired, but not through an evil approach. If anything, maybe that's the thing, but I agree with you.
Questions?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, actually I have many questions, so I have to hold on and go back to one question. First of all, I would like to mention, I see image factor, the image of a company, as a big source to influence on the marketing strategies of companies. Even if you go for business and high revenues, you are in a way forced to take care of your image. I see that a good way to influence in that direction. Kind of warning, give in that direction. But I wonder as well, I mean, if I see the spots I really enjoyed, it looks for me a little bit like we can have hope, because there is already a change in the marketing. So my question would be, what is the international trend? Are this only exceptions, or is there really an awareness on the money side, on the capital side, to support ideas and strategies in a well-being of us human? I mean, I think we can be more creative than only looking on the dark side. And the other question I have, I mean, even if you see news, there must be somehow a belief, or is it really a science proved, that we have to have all the time negative news to watch media, or to be in a warning system, I have to be right to be accepted? Is it always a fear on the negative side to make us buying things to feel better? Can't we shape the strategy in a different direction and be influenced in a different way? Yeah, so.
I think a very important tools to make a change in how the corporate strategy influence how marketing acts is through how you measure your people. It's through the KPI. It's through how you measure the performance of your company. So if you instill KPI that is very short-term focused, it's all about sales, it's all about profit, then your people do everything to deliver the profit and the sales. But if you have measurements on a longer term angle, I'm still nervous, on how you engage your consumers, on the how, not only the deliverables, but on the how, you know, the approach you take to gain your market share, then that would shape how marketing do branding, do products, do selling, do promotions. So it's really an attempt top down of, you know, making the decision to choose a more inspiring, a more positive approach, and then take that through the whole organization, how you measure people, how you reward people in your organization. And it's a global movement. If you can see, you know, all these cool brands. I don't know if you know Tom's Shoes. Do you know Tom's Shoes? Yeah, 1 for 1. Have you heard Tom's Shoes? Yes? Okay, Claudia, I have never heard. It's generation gap. It's a brand where, you know, you buy one pair of shoes, then unfortunate children in another country gets another pair, the exact same shoes. And they get shoes to wear to schools and stuff. And that's the why this brand has all started. The owner himself shared lately that his company has grown to a scale where it has become pure commercial. And you know, the discussion, the conversation that happened in his organization is all about how do you sell more, what design of the shoes, how do you be different from the others, how do you expand more quickly. And it has lost that soul of the purpose of the company, where you want to really contribute to unfortunate children. And he sort of re-engineer his company, take a pause, and then, you know, re-talk his people, and then get back to the real purpose of the organization.
Thank you very much. That was stunning and inspiring, and you're definitely a cool public speaker.
Oh, really? Okay.
Can you share a very personal example when you was on the borderline between getting money to pay your bills and doing something for customers, especially when you started your business?
Okay. I did a project for a financial company, and it's a credit card company. So, you know, by credit card as a definition, the strategy is to get people into debt. You know, if people are not in debt, then you don't earn interest, then you don't make revenue. So you do things you can to inspire people to spend more, to a point where they need to revolve, don't pay full amount, and they have to pay interest. And I was in credit card business myself too when I worked for the bank. that is really a dilemma for a business. It's as bad as selling alcohol or cigarettes, or worse, I don't know. So I had this opportunity to craft a corporate branding for them, to put in a positioning and a mission, a reason, a purpose for the organization. And I came up with two options of the concepts. One where you feel this, make people get into more materials, special privileges. You are like a special person if you carry this credit card and you have lots of money in your pockets and show it off to the world. And another route, which is more about spend meaningfully, think if you can pay it or not. Don't get into debt for no good reasons. And that's really, the two approach I can take. And I decided to propose these options to the clients. And this was like a sort of a pitching kind of attempt. It was like taking a big risk on proposing that type of proposition, because I don't know what my rivals will be proposing. If you listen to the industry codes, the rules in playing in credit card business, you should propose this approach. But I proposed that one. And thankfully, my clients share the values, and the CEO bought the concept, and he took it forward. So it's lucky me, but I'm proud of myself that I sort of push into an area where I can make a tiny difference.
I would like you to give a big round of applause for Marisa. I think she did extremely well today, and her talk was so inspiring, and so very, very thank you for all your very inspirational talk. We'd like to give you a little of token of appreciation thank you so much for being here today. Thank you again, and see you very soon. Kapun Makrap. Thank you.